Let's talk all things creating cash cow content. I mean, the kind of content that you can create to grow your audience, connect with your current audience, but most importantly, the kind of content that you can create that will make people say, take all my money. I really want to work with you. Hi, my name is Deborah and I currently work as a launch strategist. And one thing I really do is help you quit guesswork when it comes to growing your business by launching profitable offers. But today, I want us to really talk about how you can turn your content to a cash cow, because nobody wants to sit in front of the camera, create content, and then at the end of the day, it's not reflected in your bank account, right? So today I want to share with you my 4 simple yet really solid steps that help me create content, the kind of content that helps me get paid, get seen, get heard, kind of content that even gets me like external opportunities to maybe train, speak at events, and all of these things that bring in revenue into my business. The first thing you want to do when it comes to creating cash cow content is understanding who your cash cow is. Okay. For a minute, I know that's a bit of a word. I'm not trying to call my clients or call my customers cash cows, right? Let's take that in, right? But then you need to understand the person that is going to pay you. When it comes to transactions happening within your business, right? There are key stakeholders. There's a person that is going to see that video, it will ring in their brain or it would resonate with them and they'll be like, this person sounds like they know what they're doing and this person sounds like they can solve my problem, right? So you need to first understand who this person is. Now, in the past, there's been a lot of, their age, their demographics, the things they're interested in, the pages they follow. But more than just that, I want you to go deeper with understanding your audience. And when I mean understanding your audience, I don't mean your current audience. I don't mean the current audience that when you post videos, they don't even patronize you or they don't speak to you. No. And I don't want you to create for them. I want you to create for your highest value kind of clients. And how do we even know this person? I always like to ask, when it comes to the work that you do, who is that one person? Like, if you could work with only one person in this life, who would go ahead to become your brand ambassador? Who would go ahead to implement what it is that you're creating? Who would see what you're creating as super important? Who would pay and follow through with your process? Because that's very important, right? Who is this one person? And when it comes to understanding who this one person is, you need to understand what makes them qualified and what disqualifies them. So most times we're just really excited to create content for everyone and anyone who wants our solution. But you need to start choosing who exactly you're creating content for and speaking to the specific problems of the people that you actually want to see yourself working with. Now, 3 major questions you want to ask yourself to identify your audiences. Obviously, the first one I had asked before, if you could work with only one client, who is this kind of person that you would want to work with? 2, what are they currently using to solve or pseudo-satisfy the problem that you're promising? Feels like a lot, but let me break that down. Now, your current audience is currently relying on something to pseudo-satisfy that problem that they have. So for me, my current audience is maybe somewhere trying to download freebies, and download random templates to try to just navigate their way through their launch instead of working with me. On another hand, my client is also trying to maybe pseudo-satisfy. So rather than going full depth with planning a launch, they just feel they can run on like vibes, they'll just do it, ride on their current audience, ride on their current family and friends, ride on the current fans that they have, instead of having like a full-blown launch plan that covers pre-launch, post-launch, the building phase, the active launch phase, in a way that their launch is not chaotic. So it means that at the moment, if they are not working with me, there's a way they are currently solving that problem. So I want you to also ask yourself, when it comes to your client, how are they currently solving that problem? And why is the method that they are currently relying on, why is it not good? Why is your own method better? Because if you understand what they are doing at the moment, you can be able to address their myths, You can be able to address their objections. You can be able to address the pain that is attached to the method that they are currently using to solve that problem. And that brings me to my top point here. The third question you want to ask yourself when it comes to understanding your client, in this case, your cash cow client, the clients that would pay you without complaining or rolling their eyes, the client that will respect your time, respect your work, respect your boundaries, respect, the fact that you really sat down to create that program, or you're really committing time to building your skills. That kind of client, that's the kind of client I'm talking about, right? Now, you need to ask yourself, what are their current pain points? But don't just stop at their current pain point. I want you to go deeper. After you identify their current pain point, you want to ask yourself, with this current pain that they're experiencing, where have they come to? Have they come to the point where they're actively seeking solutions, or they're still managing through their pain? If they're still managing through their pain, if their pain is not so much of a big deal to them, if they can still endure what it is, you don't want to speak to those kind of people. You want to speak to people who have moved past their pain and they're aggressively looking for solutions. Because what we want to do with your content is put your content in front of them, and your content will be like the solution that they've been seeking, in a way that they jump like, oh my goodness, I've been looking for you. So that way they're ready to pay on the go. That way they're ready to implement on the go. Do you see the difference between those two? So that's the first step. You want to, become a master student of your ideal client. Now, that brings me to my next step. When you understand them, their pain, what's triggering them, and the kind of solutions that they wish exist, you will now come down to asking yourself, okay, in the list of solutions that they wish existed, what solution am I promising? What solution do I have to offer? And this is what your content will ride on. So you want to ask yourself, what solutions are they actively seeking? What solutions do they wish exist? And this is what forms the pillar of your content, what everybody typically calls your content pillar. So for me, in my business, right, I have 5 major content pillars. One of my content pillar is launch marketing. And what brought me to that point is because I realized that my clients are stressed by the fact that, if they put together this offer, they don't know how they will get people to pay them. If they put together this offer, they really are not sure that they will be able to make money that is commensurate to the effort that they've been able to put into building this offer. So I'm like, okay, they wish there's a way they can be able to market during the phase of their launch, after their launch. They wish there's something that would really just help them take away the guesswork when it comes to that transaction, right? So I'm like, no wahala. I am going to create a content pillar that talks about launch marketing. So how you can market your offers, what you should do, what you should avoid, the myths, the objections, all of those things, right? That's one major pillar of my content. Another major pillar of my content is also systems. So I understand that my ideal clients don't just want to launch offers. They want to launch offers and then go to bed knowing fully well that, people will be able to find them and buy those offers. So they will need a client attraction system. And not just that, they want to be certain that, if somebody wants to pay while they are asleep, there's a way to pay. So they will need a conversion system. And not just that, they want to be certain that if somebody pays today, they are not running kitty kata like, be chaos, because they have an onboarding system. And apart from even having an onboarding system, they want to be certain that in the day-to-day running of working with clients, whether as a one-off as access to a course, or they're working, in a long-term coaching relationship, they understand what happens in those day-to-day. So they will need an operation system, right? No problem. So now I have another pillar in my content that talks about systems. So I'm literally picking the solutions that they wish existed and I'm turning them into content. So that way, when I talk about this thing, you're like, oh my goodness, yes, this is what I needed. And then I can now tie that into the offer that I already have within my business, and you can get to work with me. Do you see? So that means you want to be able to build content pillars that are solution based and not necessarily just based on vibe. Because I've seen a lot of content pillars and I'm like, okay, what inspired this content pillar that you have within your business? Now, my third really important step is to make the content. Most times we second guess ourselves, leave our content creation process to like vibes and all, right? But you need to make sure that you're making the content. Because if the content is not made, they will not see you. They will not be able to know that you can help them, right? Now, more than just making the content, I want to touch a bit on something that we really don't talk about, right? Now, with your audience, you need to understand that different audiences different industries, different people have different nuances that is associated with them. I recently worked with a fitness expert and I was trying to tell her that I didn't buy into the idea of your profile picture being someone in suits. I'm sorry. Right? In the fitness space, there's something we already associate with. We want to be able to see some things. And this is not to say, oh, you must always shoot all your videos in activewear. But please, if you can, please do it. But more than shooting your videos in activewear, like you want to be able to bring us into these things where we're able to see you and see you in line with the standard of your industry at the moment. So more than just shooting videos in well-lit areas, more than just shooting videos with, amazing sound and all, right? You want to ask yourself, when it comes to thought leadership in my industry at the moment, what is applicable? What are people doing? And this is not to say, oh, compare or copy, but you don't want to look too different from the standard that people already expect in your niche or the standard that people already expect in your industry, because there are a lot of options. So you want to look a bit similar to that option, but at the same time stand out. That brings me to a myth that I really want to break. No, your copy should not sound like you're speaking to a 5-year-old. Your videos should not sound like you're speaking to a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old is not going to be at your checkout page. An expert, a value-oriented person, a high achiever, someone who is solution-oriented. Those are the kind of people that you expect to come to your landing page, to your checkout, right? So it means you need to start using words that will pick at them. In the bid to be too clear, in the bid to be too simple, I've seen people water down their message. But then the truth is, people who would pay, there are certain things they're looking out for. There are certain keywords, majorly because they've already been seeking solutions in the past. So you need to start to identify those keywords that will jump at them, so that when you use those keywords, they will know that, oh, you're like the solutions they've been seeking in the past, and they can as well choose you. You don't want to water your message down too much in the bid to be too clear. You want to be able to speak to the people that you're speaking to, not a 5-year-old. So with creating your content, you want to create your content in a way that stands out. You want to create your content in a way that attracts. You want to create your content from a value perspective as opposed to a victim perspective. So yes, you're bringing vulnerability, you're sharing your life story, you're sharing your experiences, but you do not want to make your whole brand about your experiences. You want to make it about your expertise. So that way, imposter syndrome doesn't come in. You don't feel like, oh, I haven't been able to achieve this kind of result, so I cannot help people achieve it. Results rely on principles. So if there are certain principles that you've been able to apply in your life, in your business, in that promise that you're making on a certain level, I guarantee you that you can be able to promise it on a higher level. And this just looks like, okay, tying it down to the fitness person, right? Let's say in your own fitness journey, all you needed to lose was 5 kg and not 15 kg. So you've been able to lose 5 kg. If all you do is tie your content, your brand, your offers to just your experience, which is you losing 5 kg, there are so many people you will not be able to reach. You will not be able to reach the person that wants to lose 15 kg. You will not be able to reach the person that wants to lose 2 kg, because you will be like, this person that has done only 5 kg, can they help me do 15 kg? So you want to flip the switch from talking about only your experiences to talking about your expertise. So this means you extracting the principles, the value, the underlying lessons that helped you lose that 5 kg and riding on those principles. So yes, you're sharing your story, but you're not making your story all that there is to the service that you're creating or to the program that you're creating. You're showing us and you're talking from an expert perspective, because we want to pay experts. We want to pay people that we can trust. We want to pay people that are credible. Okay. The last but not the least is to have a system for recurring content. And this is where a lot of people miss it. If you create content today, I want you to always see every piece of content that you create as a data entry point. Okay. What's that? What's data entry point? Data entry point is literally you saying this content that you've created is a trigger to make people have conversations with themselves, or a trigger to make people have conversations with you, or a trigger to make people have conversations with your bank account, where they're like, okay, if I subtract this, I can be able to invest in this program or in this offer. But more than all of that, right, you need to have a system within your business that allows you almost never run out of content ideas. And I'll make another video to really touch on this in depth. But this is what mine looks like at the moment. For every time anyone randomly sees me on the road, at an event, I don't know, anywhere, and we're having a conversation that looks like it would tilt towards picking my brain, I don't worry, I don't stress. I really do enjoy talking about my work. All I do is really just turn on my voice memo on my watch and record it. That way, I'm able to go back, listen to that voice memo, use the words that they used to describe their problem, remember the advice that I gave them spontaneously, and then tie it to one of my offers so that when I'm creating content the next time, it's just really easy for me to do that. Now, more than doing that offline, what I do online is that I ensure that every conversation that I have, whether with clients or in the DM, is recorded. In the sense that I don't do random calls. So I'm not doing a call if it's not going to be recorded. I'm not having a conversation if I cannot be able to retrieve it. So I'm either prioritizing only voice notes and text messages rather than calls, because I want to be able to go back, read the past conversations that we've had, read my comment section, look at the things that people are saying, how they are responding to the content I'm creating, and then come back to repurpose those things and talk about it as a content. Another thing I also always do is that with my leads tracker, I have a leads tracker sheet. And in this leads tracker sheet, every person I talk to, I try to document what really stood out for me, what really stood out for them, why they moved on, why they didn't move on, working with me. So that way I understand the objections my clients are facing, solutions they wish existed. So when it's time to create content, it just feels easy breezy because I have a system that consistently replenishes my content bank. And it also helps me create content that people need, not what people want. The truth is, as a thought leader, you will almost be torn in between, okay, should I create what people want or what they need? People want to feel seen, they want to feel like they're your friend, so they want you to do a lot of vlogs, they want you to do a lot of hauls, they want you to do a lot of really random chitty-chatty stuff. And while that's not bad, you need to understand and really prioritize what your audience really needs. What do they need to hear for them to move to the point that you're promising them? Yeah, what do they need to know? What do they need to stop doing? What do they need to prioritize? And you need to always choose to share what they need as opposed to what they want. Because at the end of the day, if you share what they need as opposed to what they want, you attract true clients as opposed to just having fans and people who flourish around you, but then they're not really going to buy your offer or pay attention to what it is that you're saying at the end of the day. So these 4 things, if you really start practicing all of these 4 things, I promise you will be able to create content that will make people say, take all my money, yeah. Okay, let's be serious now. But let me know in the comment section below, right? If you've watched up until this point, it means you've gotten so much value. I want you to tell me in the comment section which one stood out for you and the one that you're going to start applying. Now, if you've watched this video up until this point, it means you know that this place is a value place. So you want to click the subscribe button and join, my YouTube gang. And more than just joining my YouTube gang, I want you to connect with me outside of YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at the Deborah Ijeoma at the moment. And my LinkedIn at Deborah Ijeoma. Or better still, let's take this relationship a notch higher and join my email gang. You will find a link to join my email gang in the description below. Now, more than just creating content that ties into your offer, you want to be sure that the content that you're creating, all of the efforts that you're doing to attract clients, you're attracting them to an offer that is really solid. You're attracting them to an offer that is really sellable. You're attracting them to an offer that is a no-brainer, that once they interact with your offer, they're like, oh, take my money. But if you don't feel so confident with the offer that you have at the moment, we can have a conversation about it. Just send me a DM on Instagram, or you can find ways to work with me via the link in the description. Until I see you next time in another video, I want you to prioritize creating content that your clients need over what they want. Okay? Bye.